When you try and operate without structure and discipline, the real world sooner or later steps in and imposes restrictions on you, especially if you're a man. Freedom is not about a lack of restrictions. Freedom is about choosing your own restriction. Because if you don't choose your own restrictions, life will impose restrictions on you. Most people chasing freedom are really just overcorrecting from a life full of imposed limitations. The irony is, if you try and run from restrictions entirely, you'll end up lost, ineffective, and stuck. So let's talk about why choosing your own restrictions is really the key to freedom. By intentionally restricting your choices in the moment, you create a kind of a long-term freedom that undisciplined men never have. This same principle applies everywhere in life. Without self-imposed restrictions, you're at the mercy of whatever happens next. There's really three levels to mastering restriction. Firstly, choose the right restriction for the current phase of life that you're in. You're always operating within some kinds of restriction. The key is to decide whether those current restrictions are working for you. Are they guiding you towards what you want? Or are they just relics of an old situation? Many people hold on to restrictions from a past phase of life just out of habit, and it keeps them trapped and unhappy. Ask yourself, are your current restrictions leading you more towards the type of life that you want? Or are they just habits that you've never questioned? Secondly, prepare for future phases. A lot of people come unstuck because they never anticipate the next phase of life. They build their world around a set of restrictions or a set of rules that's working for them right now. But once you move into a new phase of life, those same rules could very much be holding you back. If you want to progress, you need to periodically review and address and update your chosen restrictions. Think ahead. What will the next version of you need to restrict in order to get where he wants to go? And thirdly, don't be afraid to flirt with nihilism. It's really easy to take life either too seriously or not seriously enough. Obviously, both of those extremes cause you problems, and arguably that's what life's about, trying to calibrate yourself in the middle as often as you can. But you can get a lot of control from understanding when to let go. If everything is too meaningful, you're always stressed, always burnt out, always running towards something, never allowing yourself to rest. And if nothing matters, you lose all motivation. There's a lot of power and control that can come from stepping back and having the perspective that nothing really matters. Not as a permanent mindset, but as a way of disengaging, relaxing, resting, and winding down some of the unnecessary pressure that we often put on ourselves. Then, when it's time to re-engage, you do so with a fresh perspective, understanding how to apply new restrictions on your life that are going to actually take you where you want to go. Look, most people understand that you can't have everything. You have to make choices about where you put your attention. And that means if you choose your own restrictions, you'll have a much better chance of where you want your attention to go and of creating the type of life that you want. So don't look for freedom by avoiding restriction. Choose your own freedom by selecting the restrictions that you actually want that will take you where you want to go. If you don't define your own restrictions, somebody else will, and they may not be in your best interests if that happens. I'm sure you've all had that experience before. So choose wisely. And remember, you can only be in one place at a time. So that means every day you're making trade-offs. The only question is, are you choosing your own, or are you just accepting what you're being given? Thanks for watching. See you next time.